Imagine it was your story 3 generations from now that somebody wanted to tell. Would you want somebody that is not related at all to stand and to read a narrative disconnected? Or would you want somebody that is possibly connected to your lineage, to your line, to express the fears, the concerns, the love, the hope that must have gone through the, the very heart and soul of these people? You have to do it, because if we don't speak, who's going to speak for us? It'll be just the same as you say, I could never do that. Somebody else will say, I could never do that. And the next person says it softer, and the next person says it softer, until it's all but forgotten. And we can't be forgotten. We just can't. So speak up.
Welcome to session 6 of the Getting Started series, and this one's titled Do It. I'm John Townsend.
Kevin Carter.
Hey,
we're here at Locust Grove today in Louisville, Kentucky. I said that right, Louisville. And it is the Jane Austen Festival.
Jane Austen Festival, lots of great folks here.
You'll notice that John is dressed and I am not. I do not have an 18th century or 19th century outfit yet. I'm here kind of scouting out the event. In fact, we both kind of are. This is our first time here.
First time, and it is a wonderful, beautiful location.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Right here by the river. It's a little humid, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, the house is a 1790 Georgian house. It's it's amazing how well they restored that house and the outbuildings and.
Right, and we're here. The Acosta group is here, and many other groups. So, getting started, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of work already. You've said, I want to do this thing. And you've picked out a persona. And you've done research.
You've started your research.
You
have enough research done that you know what your outfit should be like, at least generically.
And hopefully you've either begged, borrowed, bought, maybe made your own clothing and equipment so that you can at least get started, right? So now it's time to get out there and actually do a little bit of it.
To practice.
Yep. Where are you going to find this first event to kind of participate in? And there are many different ways to find these events that you want to play with, right? If you've connected with a group. Hopefully you've got a group, a mentor. They've got events that they already go to. And hopefully you can tag along on one of those. It's really the best way to get started because, they're already going there. They know the rules, what's expected of people, what kind of equipment you need for that event. And so you can just tag along and it'll be really easy.
Other ways to find out, though. We do have Living History Network.
Yeah, Living History Network. It's got a calendar of events. We're still building that, though. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, there'll be many more events on there. But that's a work in progress.
There's also Smoke and Fire.
Smoke and Fire News, the little newspaper that Donlin Myers puts out. That's a printed calendar of events as well as other advertisements, things like that. It's another great way to find events, find units, find other vendors. So it's a great resource. There are other ways, though, too. Maybe you can't find the right kind of event on the newspaper or in Living History Times, but there are other places to find it.
Oh, yeah. Even on Facebook. I did something the other day. I went to Facebook and in the search bar typed in 18th century, and then among the results, I clicked the group tab. Hundreds of groups, people interested in the 18th century. Some of them were events. Some of them were even groups of people who like to focus on a trade or a craft.
Right.
A great way to find people who are interested in what you're interested in.
Find events, all that. Even just searching on Google. Might net you something, especially in your area.
Right. Well, John, once you get there, though, what are some things that people can expect? Maybe not once, maybe even before you go. What are some things that people should be aware of before they show up?
before you show up, you really should do research on the event and connect with whoever's putting on the event. Most of the events expect registration. They want to know who's coming, that they're going to be appropriate for the event. You want to know what kind of event it is and what they expect out of their participants.
Yeah. Now, this might be a good place to talk about the level of participation that you're going to do at the event. If you're going just to walk around and explore, then you may not have to register.
Right.
A lot of the events you can just come in and
Right. You can just go in as a regular member of the public, dressed, and interact with the people there just on a one-day basis.
If you plan to do more than just walk around, if you plan on demonstrating something or camping in the encampment, that's really when you need to register. The event is going to want to know about you, what you hope to do.
Right.
And along with that, too, you will often find, like on the website of the event, a participant guideline.
Yeah, every event has their own set of time frame that they're working within, whether or not it's a juried event. Some people, they'll want an actual picture of you, or they'll want to have interviewed you or seen you before they invite you, and other ones are much more open and sort of free form, and they don't mind if it's a long time frame. Maybe, there's people within 50 years of, say 1850 all the way up into 1820 or whatever. So they'll vary a lot. You'll want to know about that ahead of time. You want to make sure that the event's appropriate. That's why if you're working within a group, they'll help you with all that.
Right. Back in session 2, we had a little video clip of Billy Heck, and he was talking about juried events and how he actually recommends that beginners go to juried events. A juried event is where there is usually a panel of jurors. They're typically seasoned historical interpreters, and don't be intimidated by them. In fact, view them as resources instead, and ask them questions if they doubt something that you might have, or if something you have is wrong. Don't worry about it. Just put it aside. But ask them, how can I improve? How can I improve my clothing? How can I improve my equipment? And more often than not, they're looking. They're looking for people like that. Yes, they want to be helpful. Right. But, John, what if I mess up?
You're not going to mess up. Really, I suggest. We're talking about just getting started, just the first couple of events here. I would not suggest doing anything like first person. Just go, just watch, just participate at a low level, get the feel of it, and there's nothing you can mess up with.
Okay, but I am going to say this, though, John.
Yeah.
When you get to the point where you step into first person.
If you want to.
If you go there, yes. And it's okay if you don't. But if you go there, start off with a small routine that you've practiced at home.
Even just a sentence or two, and then back out of it and walk away.
Yeah,
it's simple.
It's a great way to get started.
Right.
Hey, in the next session, we're going to have Frank and Carol Jarbeau
right. Wonderful.
As guests. They are amazing first-person interpreters, and they're going to have a lot of hints and suggestions. Yeah. So be sure and tune into that next session.
Yeah, the next session's going to be great.
Yeah.
Other opportunities. We can get started without having to do events, right?
Right.
There are so many other ways you can get connected. Start doing it without having to go to an event. There, obviously, if you're connected with a historic site, they have many different kinds of things going on there. You might be able to pick an off day, a low volume day, and just kind of fold in and see how that works. I'm sure they have that kind of an opportunity. Sometimes you want to just get away by yourself and kind of practice. Put on the clothes and, go out on a little trip or whatever.
It was a couple of years ago we interviewed Dennis Neely.
Right.
Dennis Neely, he's an outdoor writer, kind of a long hunter persona. And he does that a lot. He gets out in the woods by himself. He will dress up and go out whether. Right. Well, yeah, he was talking about how he will hunt but not fire a single shot. Mm-hmm. He will see how close he can get to an animal as they would have back then.
Right.
And if he can get close enough to take the shot, doesn't take the shot, he considers it a successful hunt and he goes home.
Right.
So
there's so many different ways
Yeah.
to do that. You can also do that with a number of other people. If you're connected with a small group or a unit or whatever, you can just do a little private event, and that might be the best place to start.
Invite your friends over for a dinner.
Right? You could just have one, during regular day, and just dress up and eat in your dining room.
Have everyone bring a dish, a period dish,
Right.
and then spend that time evaluating and asking for suggestions, your outfits. And again, if you're working on a first-person persona, you can practice
it there.
parts of your routine, engaging with other people to see how it goes.
So there's so many ways to get started, and really the thing to do is just do it. And so that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it
all
for
you
this
really have to
session.
do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about assignments.
Okay. Well, what we would like for you to do is write us a comment in the in the YouTube section below, and tell us about your first event. What happened? How'd it go? Did you have fun? Are there things that you could do differently? And looking back on it, tell us about it. And I think one other thing too, the standard homework assignment is to tell all of your friends who you think might be interested in living history about this course.
Great. Thank you so much for your interest in sticking with us this long. And hey, the next one's really good. Make sure to watch for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you're ever in the Louisville area, check out Locust Grove. It's a great place.
Very good.
Ways I practice my persona, obviously at events. That's a great way to hone your persona, especially like when you find somebody else who does first person. That's a great way to, you kind of play with them, you play off of them, and it gives you an opportunity to practice. But when I first started, the primary way that I practiced my persona was I would use funny accents. I would use the doctor's accent or Mr. Hollybrass's accent while I drove in my car and like would cuss at other drivers and things. I would practice saying it. Well, how would the doctor say that? It's strange, but it builds skills, and it tricks you into saying things you wouldn't normally say just at an event, and so that worked real well for me.